Today, we're going to be deciding whether you should buy a
S21 FE.
or a Google Pixel 6.
This month we've got a new Samsung release, the S21 FE, similar to the S21, similar price, different colours.
However, it's still more expensive than the Pixel 6 I have here.
Exactly. As this is a comparison with the Google 6, we will go through what specs the Samsung S21 FE has and compare it with one of its greatest competitors. Mark, did you write that?
I might have.
Okay. So the FE I have right now is in olive green. It has a plastic back, which is okay. I do like it, and I love how the colour transitions over to the camera, unlike the S21. As it is light, and a lot of people will like that it is lighter, it doesn't feel as premium as a metal or glass back. On the plus side, you don't get the fingerprint marks, and I guess the plastic is more durable.
However, on this Pixel 6, we have a lovely glass back in the usual quirky Google colours, and this huge camera bar. I think it looks great and reminds me of a motorcycle's helmet visor. The bar then blends perfectly with the matte black side rails. It feels very premium in the hands. Although it does not have an accented power button, at least it's a unique design, unlike the S21 FE.
I would rather say timeless. If we come around to the front, we have a Gorilla Glass Victus, which is the toughest glass protection out. The FE also comes with official IP68 dust and water resistance.
It is the toughest glass, and yes, the Google Pixel 6 also has it on the front. And of course is also IP68 dust and water resistance too. So no problem if you drop it in the bath.
Not too sure why you would have your phone in the bath.
Well, TikTok, it's just so addictive.
Moving swiftly on, the FE comes with Android 12 and the One UI 4 launcher, and it's amazing. The UI is nice and it's very Samsung. The One UI 4 has some nice improvements, like updated widgets, which are very handy for shortcuts, and a redesign on the quick settings panel for a more compact look, which is so much more easy to use. There is new privacy improvements, device care, and much more, but I won't go through them on this video. If you want a video on the One UI 4, please let us know in the comments below. As you know, Samsung has a one-handed mode, and I believe with a bigger screen, it does come in handy. We also have Samsung under-display fingerprint reader, and it's very quick and responsive. Mark, tell us about your fingerprint sensor reader.
Okay, even I have to admit, Google's under-display fingerprint reader is not the best. It has improved, and now I don't get missed fingerprints as I used to. However, it definitely takes longer than the S21 FE, so I certainly have to hand it over to Samsung there. But at least I get stock Android. Always recommended to be the quickest way of using Android. And of course, you get Google updates for 3 years with these phones, and your phone doesn't have 3 apps that all do the same thing. Hey, Court.
Hey. Okay, yeah, you got me there. Samsung still have their own apps alongside Google's, which can be annoying, but it does give you the option to choose from both. You can then uninstall or disable the apps you don't use, as they will use up a big chunk of storage. With the base model storage, you get 128GB, which in my opinion is more than enough, but if you want the upgrades, you can go for a 256GB, as there will be no micro SD slots.
Now, the Pixel 6 only comes with 128GB of storage, which is probably fine for a lot of people, so thankfully it only comes with the apps you actually need. Another advantage of buying a Google Pixel 6 is that you get exclusive features to Android. These include almost instant voice typing, which is all done on the device rather than using your internet connection. You also get a load of camera features exclusive to the Google Pixel 6. And if you're in the US, you also get direct my call and wait times. Basically, Google Voice Assistant will stay on hold for you and then buzz you when an operator has answered. And with direct my call, Google will then answer, then transcribe the other person, so you don't need to be pestered by spam calls. Hopefully this will come to the UK eventually. However, it's been a few years and we haven't seen it yet.
All sounds great, but Samsung also has some exclusive features like DeX, which we've had before, but you know, it's good.
I mean, it's fine. However, you're most likely going to want to use an iPad or a normal laptop for your everyday use. It's a nice to have feature, but I wouldn't pick the phone or spend £100 extra on the phone just for it.
But the concept is good. It's the only phone that has this concept. Like, imagine coming to work and just using your phone for, you know, for an all-day purpose. So instead of bringing a laptop and a phone, all your work is on the phone. You plug it in, you get your wireless keyboard, your wireless mouse, and you're set up straight away. It's efficient.
I get the concept. However, I think laptops aren't going anywhere and you're still going to just be using your phone as a phone.
At this point in time, I agree. I don't think the phones are powerful enough to act as a computer, but I think the concepts, and I think in the near future, this could be something special. The Samsung S21 FE comes with a 6.4-inch dynamic AMOLED display, which is just beautiful. It's a really bright, vibrant display. It has HDR10+ and 120Hz refresh rate, perfect for watching videos, gaming, or just scrolling through your phone. It's just seamless. I think once you go to 120Hz, it's hard to revert back to, say, 60Hz because it's so smooth. I think it's a must for any future phone.
I have to admit, the S21 FE screen is pretty nice. But the Pixel 6 also has a very nice display. It's 90Hz, while the Pro does get 120Hz like the S21 FE. The size of the Pixel 6's display is 6.4 inch and is full HD. Getting specs out the way, the display looks fantastic. It's bright, it's vibrant, and I've had no issues with the display or no complaints. Having a slightly lower refresh rate will also help the battery life as it's not having to refresh the screen as much. So hopefully the Pixel 6 will last that little bit longer than the S21 FE.
And from our testing, it does actually hold up longer than the S21 FE. The S21 FE seems to perform well in everyday tasks and also on some pretty demanding games. One thing to keep in mind though, with only 6GB of RAM, your apps could easily eat through this quickly. As long as you close down your apps, you'll have no issues.
Oh no, you're not one of those that close down all your apps constantly.
It's just knowing that everything's closed down. Like if you're not using it, you naturally would close it down anyway. So 6GB of RAM is not an issue.
It's all in the background. You wouldn't even notice if your apps are open in the background. That is what a RAM is for. With the Pixel 6 though, thankfully you don't have to worry as much, as it does have 8GB of RAM, and I've definitely not faced any issues with performance yet. I will say though that this is Google's first go at making a mobile CPU, so time will tell if the Tensor chip will hold up.
Moving on to the battery life, the FE has a 4500 mAh battery, which is good. It's enough to get you through the day if you're casually scrolling through your phone. Anything else, video calls or gaming, might use up more battery than you want.
The Pixel does have a slightly bigger battery at 4614 mAh, but I will warn you that when you use 5G on this, the battery life can drop pretty quickly. If that does happen though, it does have fast charging, up to 50% in 30 minutes using a 30-watt fast charger, although you will need to buy this separately.
The Samsung FE also fast charges to 50% in 30 minutes using a 24-watt fast charger that you will also have to get separately.
I think both these phones though won't have an issue getting through the day.
For the camera, it has a 12 megapixel wide, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 8 megapixel telephoto 3x optical zoom with a 30x digital zoom, which Samsung like to call space zoom. It can record up to 4K 60 frames per second, and you can also lower the resolution for better stability too.
The Pixel 6 on the other hand has always been regarded as one of the best cameras on a phone. I really like the photos this phone produces, and with a large 50 megapixel wide sensor and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, you'll be very happy with the results. Although the Pixel 6 does not have a telephoto, you can use Google's Super Zoom, which when paired with the 50 megapixel sensor provides some pretty nice results. For video, You get 4K, 60 and 30 frames per second. And I have to say, Google has done well making the video more natural looking than previous Pixels.
For the front camera, we have a 32 megapixel lens. It can record up to 4K, 60 frames per second. It's perfect for any vlogger or any TikToker. The camera is just vibrant and very detailed for a front camera. So if you are a vlogger or anyone that records, this is an ideal phone for you.
The Pixel 6's front camera is nothing amazing. It will produce some good selfies with accurate skin tones, however probably won't be as sharp as the S21 FE, and it will also only shoot 1080p 30 frames per second rather than 4K.
You're right, the Pixel 6 front camera is not amazing, and compared to the S21 FE with its 32 megapixel lens which can record up to 4K, it's a no-brainer for you selfie lovers out there.
So Court, if it was your money, which one would you be buying? Because I'll tell you right now that I've always been a Pixel fan. I've never really enjoyed Samsung's UI, but I have to admit in recent years they have definitely come a long way. For me though, it all comes down to the price. I'm just not seeing the extra £100 that you're getting with the S21 FE. And with the release of the S22 around the corner, why would you not just wait for that?
You're right, and I've had Samsungs in the past and I do like them, and I believe the UI has come a long way. And you can definitely see the price gap. I understand why the Samsung costs a bit more, you know, the refresh rate, the front camera specs and the additional camera on the back. But again, the price gap is way too big and the comparison is very, very similar. So from that, I would say the Google Pixel is the ideal phone if you're looking to get something in that price range.
If you've enjoyed this video about the Pixel 6 versus S21 FE, please subscribe and give us a like. And if you want to buy any accessories for either of these phones, please check the links in the description below. Thanks for watching.